So there's a certain area in my basement where because it's a turn of the century colonial property, um, I'm sure there's probably more than one area where mice can get in. And this has been the method that has worked for me for trapping. Is what I do is, you can see, standard Victor mousetrap with the standard copper bait pan on it. And the method that I've come up with, it seems to be pretty repeatable because, I mean, technically, a rodent like a mouse will eat just about anything. But what I've tend to notice is, in the past, when I've used peanut butter, the mice have a tendency to kind of just lick that off of that bait pan. And there's been one other method that I've incorporated here recently, well, like within the past year to year and a half, with this type of problem that I've been having is, and you can actually kind of sort of see it here, is I've taken a single chocolate chip and I've crammed it. What ends up happening with these original Victor copper bait pans, I don't particularly like the yellow ones, the big plastic yellow ones. What happens with these copper bait pans is they've got these like open holes on either side here. And what I do is I just take a single chocolate chip and I cram it into there. And you can actually see that that's the chocolate chip there. And then this is just a piece that is cracked off, which I'll actually just leave there as kind of like an appetizer for the rodent when the rodent comes in. Because again, like I've said, in times past when I've used peanut butter, they tend to lick it off. Whereas something like a chocolate chip is more of a rigid surface, so that there's a little bit more of there's a little bit more fighting involved in order for them to have that morsel. And what I've noticed when there's a little bit more rigidness to the bait is it'll trigger the trap quicker. Whereas, like I said, in the past where I've used, whether it be possibly cheese or a peanut butter, they do have a tendency to just lick that off, and then I'll come back to the trap. It'll all be licked off and I won't get anything. I mean, granted, every now and then I will get a mouse with peanut butter, but I've seen a very repeatable trend with just cramming just a standard chocolate chip onto the end here, and then whatever cracks off I just leave as like an appetizer on the pan. Because I mean, here's a big piece that's cracked off on the pan, and I'll just leave that as like an appetizer, and they'll go for the chocolate chip and then whammo. And it's almost a 100% success rate. I would say out of like the past, if I set this 10 times, I'll get 9 mice, possibly 10. So it's like a 9 out of 10 times, almost a 100% success rate with this type of a method. So I'm going to set this up. Just a single chocolate chip crammed into the side. Whether you do left side or right side probably doesn't matter. I've done both. Into the side of the standard copper Victor mousetrap. And it's been a pretty good result. Best of luck to anybody that's dealing with rodents.